Welcome to Sunday Street, it's the Poppin' Ass Podcast. It's the coolest host on the coast, your boy Barrio. I'm here with my friend.
It's your girl Drina, co-host with the most information here on the coast, the host of Drina Finds Out.
And nephew Courtney, host of the Sit Down.
Why you always lean up on the mic like that?
I'm trying to get my sexy voice on.
No, man, you can talk, right?
Keep sweat on.
You do that every week. It'll be so loud with that head.
Sometimes it be low though.
Yeah, now I'm just messing with you, man. How y'all week was? How y'all,
We survived.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, how y'all handle Zeta?
We survived, Zeta.
Zeta put a little damage on the trap.
Definitely.
Definitely, I was blessed, but Zeta, I seen some damage in the city, man.
I don't think I think everybody underestimated it.
Yeah, I ain't think we was gonna be able to shoot this week. They just turned the power back on this morning.
It's crazy.
It came directly at us, I believe. So they said it was just a category 2.
Yeah, we're going down, man.
Yeah.
I think it was like a high level 2, borderline
Yeah.
3-ish.
Yeah.
I'm glad it got in here and got out so quick.
Yeah.
Because had it sat here, it would have been some real damage.
Man. Did you bring
Talk
back?
about it with Abra, but I really wish I could have went and got that 300.
No, yeah.
I tell y'all that.
I wish they really were giving away $300.
It's still been on my mind.
But when I heard about it, I was like, man, they are not. First of all, who is giving away $300? I ain't heard nothing about it.
Made up.
I just knew a whole bunch of people were in line for it, and I'm like, I'm not going to get in line. I know how these folks cut up for the Red Cross money after Katrina. These folks ain't giving us nothing.
I sent my mama down there.
She gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I waited on the text back. She said I went down there to go get in. The people looked at her like they didn't know what they was talking about. I'm waiting on her to reply and ask, was it a line or she get down there? Because it looked real bad if she was the only one and she missed it. But
she probably should have caught the fiasco to understand.
Yeah, somebody be like, oh hell, she would be like, oh hell.
Facebook was jumping talking about it. Everybody.
Shout out to my boy Twan again.
He said he the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor came through with the footage.
Came through with the information. It was just some fake news.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why? So who?
We don't know who started it.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
We just know the mayor put the information out there, and people was out there lined up. I thought people were lined up in cars, but they were lined up in physically.
Yeah.
It had to be at least. It was at least over 150 people out there. It was buku people out there.
Hey man, we with all the surplus. The time's bad.
Need that bread. I still want it, even though it's a hole.
Right.
What about that stimulus? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh, they ain't coming with that no time soon.
Nah, I was going, that was a good way to go. That's what I wanted to say. Y'all know next week when we shoot this, we potentially can have a different president. It can potentially be going down. Next week, this time, basically, it's going to be going down.
It's going to be very interesting.
Man, I think it's going to be going down either way. Man, lose, draw. It's going to be.
Just like I said, the last presidential election, I still got to wake up and go to work the next day.
Crazy.
I still got to get up and go to work the next day. So.
That's right.
Man, people might go crazy out here in these streets.
People will go. People are already crazy.
Yeah, but they just need another reason to go out there and protest, loot, burn down.
Yeah.
It might go down. I'm interested.
They say it's gonna be a civil war.
Civil uprest. They can't call it.
Yeah, a civil. Yeah, uproar.
Man.
Trying to defend their country.
I can't wait till Tuesday night. I can't wait.
I'm going to sleep Tuesday night.
I can't wait till Wednesday morning when I go to work.
Let me tell y'all, do not call me Tuesday night. I'm going home. I'm feeding my children.
Be a lot of people.
I'm getting in the bed. I put my phone on airplane mode. I never do that. I don't want to talk to nobody.
I ain't gonna find out till Wednesday.
I'll find out Wednesday morning when I wake up.
Yeah, and then people, it's interesting because I worked for a major corporation like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where there's a lot of blue collar people. Where the Republican does appeal to DuPonts, the Ingalls, the Sherwin-Williams, you know what I'm saying? So it's good for the people that work for the company. I had a guy that I was friends with.
People don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Nah, you can get in trouble down there. I don't want to talk about the politics again. They know that.
But they just thought that it was, you know, they was for you, and I just had to explain that it was for the business. But
yeah,
it is for them.
No, we gotta build ships. We ain't gotta talk about politics. That's what they gonna tell you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, that might not. Yeah.
But you know, it's gonna be. I'm a people watcher.
Oh yeah, so, people finna cut up.
Oh man, it's gonna be a show, like you said. Ready. It's gonna be interesting.
Very interesting.
I still gotta eat food every day.
Think about your homeboy, Lil Wayne.
Oh man, see, I don't know all the details, but if he sides with that side right now, he explained it to me. I know I don't like it, y'all, but he always has. Before I get to it, let me answer that question. I know we briefly talked about it before. I still really don't know, but I'm sure I don't agree with it, but I did feel. Let me just clear him up. I did feel him a little bit when he talked about the racist thing about growing up in New Orleans. He was famous since he was 13, and you know. He grew up in New Orleans. He didn't grow up around white people, so he didn't have really. I get that, but now he's starting to kind of go a little kind of.
The thing is, I feel like as a black person, it's kind of like the whole thing with OJ, the song with Jay-Z. Like you can reach the highest peak possible. You still a black man to these people in the street.
So why not get something from him? Would you do an interview with Trump?
Would I do an interview?
Would you interview Trump? Yeah.
I don't think anything will come of an interview with him.
So was that a yes or no?
I probably wouldn't.
You would not interview?
To get my name out there, yeah.
You get him for money.
But you gotta agree with.
I ain't agreeing with Wayne though. Do some money stuff.
But no, I just think that was just foolish of Wayne. Like who
at this time his influence
didn't stop him and say, "Nah, Wayne, that's a bad idea." Like, why do you even have an opinion on politics?
Right.
Yeah.
Every time you open your mouth in any type of political thing, it's always bad.
You don't know how important he is.
On the right side of having an opinion politically, so just shut up. You just got back in a good space of making music. Like, why would you even do that?
Yeah, I don't really agree with it.
I feel like, and you're right. I would enjoy speaking to somebody that I didn't agree with, especially if I thought that something would come of it, just to get that person's perspective to feel like why they feel that way. I enjoy that. I actually have requested like somebody here on the coast that has like a different outlook on life actually meet up and talk with them to see where they're coming from.
Good conversation.
Just to see other people's perspective, but I don't think anything good will come of a conversation. And I do think that him
flip my MAGA hat to the back, turn Steve on, tell you, girl, you better get over there and record that interview with Trump.
I feel like with Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, all of these people, I feel like they've been used as pawns, like here in the media lately, just for a photo opportunity.
Maybe so, but I don't think Ice Cube got an agenda like that.
I don't think Ice Cube does either. Like I said, I felt like if his outlook was, I want to talk to whoever is going to make a difference. Like he said, next week we could be in the same situation. We could have the same president. So somebody needs to have some type of rapport with him. Not that I think that he will hold up to it, but at least like.
But those are the people who just hold the power at the moment. So
right.
What we just supposed to sit back and be like, oh, these 4 years we just gonna take off. And we just gonna wait till somebody in there who agree with us, then we get. We ain't got that kind of time, Jack.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely think that we can't say we want politicians to work together, like work across the aisle, if we aren't willing to work, do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Speaking of elections and policy and all of that, and we ain't gonna drag on our political thing no more. It's time. We got
Go vote Tuesday. Tuesday.
It's time. We said all we can say about that. But speaking of policy and things of that nature, this week on Sunday Street, we had one of my good friends, one of my longest lasting friendships, my brother, Abra Taylor. We talked about.
We talked about banking in the black community. We talked about community outreach. Talked about mentor programs. Talked about everything.
Yeah.
It was a good conversation.
We'll slide into that and see what my boy talking about on the streets.
This week I had the honor of sitting and talking with Representative Sonia Williams-Barnes, Dr. Belinda Alexander, Judge Melvin Frank, Mr. Kent Jones. So thank you again for talking with me this week.
Melody with the T.
Prime time is coming to JSU.
My chicken include who, baby?
She is so mad at Dr. Drake. She is not playing with him.
She won't.
She is not playing with him.
Welcome to Sunday Street, the Poppin' Ass Podcast. And it's your favorite host, Vario, man. Motto here. We're gonna get our shit together. We're gonna have a good time doing it.
Welcome back, everybody. We have this week, I'm so excited, Abra Taylor.
My
Homeboy, friend for the last long time. I don't know.
It is.
It's been a long time. What's going on, Abra?
Not much, man. Happy to be here. Made it through Zeta.
Oh, yes.
You know, making it through the pandemic.
We hope everybody did.
You know, so, happy to be here and thank y'all for having me on.
Okay.
Talk. So, yeah, I appreciate it.
So I know you are known around the city, around the Gulf Coast really, about your mentoring, all the mentoring you do, all the leadership programs that you have going on. But tell us how you started. Tell us a little bit about your background.
So, me, born and raised in Turnkey, Mississippi. Son of a pastor. Me personally, and although I grew up in a good household, my parents taught me, what to do, the right things to do, and then also the godly way of doing things, that kind of thing. But of course, growing up in my neighborhood, the neighborhood I grew up in was a lot different. It was total opposite than what my parents were teaching me and outside those doors. And so, of course, growing up, Vario can attest to this, we had our fair share of getting in trouble and bumping our heads and, certain things that young people do. And I was one of those ones that I had an opportunity to get a second chance. And so once I got the second chance, and I saw some of these same young guys growing up in the same neighborhood as me, I was like, what could I do to put them on the right path? What part can I play?
Or at least have some type of input.
Right, to help empower my community, that kind of thing. And so, I started kind of just putting everything on paper as to what I could do and what I wanted to do. And the first thing I did was I did a youth male symposium. And I did it at my father's church. And some of the speakers I had, which is also some of the co-founders for our organization, Darren McInnes, Jordan Beard, Red Morgan, Jeremiah Mormon. So I had those guys, and some of those, they were actually our speakers, were some of our speakers at the event. And so after the event was over with, we all kind of got together and we was like, hey, we ought to make this a permanent thing and make this into an organization. Mm-hmm. And so from there, we kind of brainstormed a lot of late nights together. At different locations and just kind of brainstorming. And so we came up with the idea, Gulf Coast Outreach and Leadership as the parent, and then underneath that, and we started the mentoring program, which is the League of the Single Gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. I think it's dope, man.
I've always been excited. I remember the first time hearing about it, I was like, let me know how I can help. So
Right, absolutely. And you've been a huge help, since day one, since we started. I mean, you were there, with us and helped us along the way, even with, fundraisers and different ideas. And, just having that, of course, when you have a lot of males, you need that woman input as well.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. And so, and you definitely fill that void. And so, we definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, I always appreciate y'all letting me be a part of it. Because I think I told you, and you always tell the story, you always say, I told you, I met you when you were in 7th grade, so right. I grew up with you, and to see how far you've come, it's just exciting. And we need more men like that. We need more that for young boys.
Ever was my roommate in college.
So Drina also mentioned to me one time, so when her daughter started going to middle school, she made the comment, oh my God, my daughter's gonna be going to school with people like Abra was when he was
That's terrible, man.
But I'm a changed person now. So,
right. You weren't even, to clarify, you weren't even bad then. It was just like...
We was just young.
Sneaky. Y'all was sneaky, man. And Vario, he was my roommate in college, my freshman year. And he moved out on me. That's probably why I got kicked out. I got in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
When I came home, we got him wrong. Maybe we should have stuck together.
So I know that you have a family here on the coast. You have 2 boys and a daughter, right?
Right. Yep. Father of 3, oldest son 14. My middle son, he's 7, and my little girl, she's 4.
It's funny how fast they grow up.
Yeah, super fast. 14. Yeah, and so I honestly, I never, for one, I never wanted a daughter, but now that I have one, you know what I'm saying, I think it's the coolest thing ever, you know what I mean? Because, you know, she shows me a lot of different sides of, you know, just different sides of everything and give me a different perspective on a lot of stuff. And so, like, you know, she's like she really kind of run everything in the house, even though she's youngest one, but, you know, she's super smart and super funny. And all my kids, they have their own personalities, and, you know, I learn a lot from them. Just like, you know, I try to instill in them and teach them a lot. You know, they all also learn from them just as well. So
gotta live and learn.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like, you know, with my oldest son, you know, certain things that he do and think he can just get over on me. You know, it's some stuff they do, they trick their mama, but they can't get it past me because I done been there, done that. You know, my wife grew up in a different environment than me, so she grew up a little bit different than me, so they can kind of get over on her a lot of things.
She ain't quick on her toe.
Right. So
I know that your wife is a teacher, so like, how was it going through the pandemic with having like everybody at home?
Well,
stressful.
Yeah, it was definitely stressful because on a few reasons. Because I'm with everything, my mindset is always business. I'm always thinking business and money, and so I'm like, okay, so if they at home, that means my electricity bill finna go up. That means I gotta buy more food. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about all that, you know, during the pandemic, but then on the flip side of that, you know, I know with them being at home, I know they're safe. You know what I mean? You know that. So that's one thing. So, but on the other side, you know, I'm also thinking dollars as well. You know, it's you know, more money, and so
I can relate.
Yeah. So, you know, and you know, my oldest son, my middle son, I think my middle son probably eat more than my older son, and so they're constantly eating. And so I'm like, man, we got to put them on a schedule just like school. You know what I'm saying? Because like in school, you can't just go to the cafeteria. Hey, I want a snack and hungry. You know what I mean? So we just had to kind of adjust. And so, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, I just thank God that we've all been safe from the virus. And so, you know, that's what I'm very appreciative of. So.
You have the Pee Wee football program, or you're a coach for a Pee Wee football?
Yeah. So my middle son, my oldest son plays for the high school now because he's in 9th grade. But
Man, that's great.
Yeah. And so my middle son, he's 7, and so we actually started out playing in Lyman League. His first 2 years we played in Lyman, and so in Lyman League they actually canceled our season this year because of the whole pandemic. So. And so with him, you know, I like to keep him active doing something. And so we you know, we tried the flag football thing, but the schedule didn't line up with my schedule, so we wasn't able to do that. And so I found out about the new program we're at, which is Gulf Coast Warriors. And so we're now playing ball out there. And I'm also one of the assistant coaches out there. Team is not doing so good this year, so you know what I mean. Yeah, and so you know, with me, it's kind of tough for me because I'm very competitive and I don't like to lose. And so, but I can't say with my son, you know, he's holding his end as far as doing what he can do, you know, for the team and do what he can do. And so, and also like you know, I see the potential of where he can be, and you know, so.
I'm gonna tell you something. I think that may be where some of my confidence came from. Cause all of my teams when I was young.
Yeah. When you were with the Saints, boy, y'all lost every game.
I used to have so many touchdowns, but we just used to lose every game.
Yeah, I never forget. You sure
that was some of my confidence.
Right. You're right.
You helped me put that together.
So I know we touched on about the mentoring and the outreach and leadership, but tell us a little bit more about going into detail about the League of Distinguished Gentlemen.
Yeah, so the League of Distinguished Gentlemen is a mentoring program, and so basically what it all comes down to is preparing these young men for life after high school, and that's basically what it is. And so I feel it's very important that, you know, some of these young guys, they need guidance, you know, to put them on the right path, because if they live in a negative,
they all do.
And so like if they live in a negative environment, and their home is also a negative environment, you know, and they go to school and the friends that they hang with is, you know, not the best of friends, and so they have no positive outlet or nothing to really give them a different perspective or give them a different insight on certain things. And so I think with my program, you know, we're able to kind of do that a little bit, and, you know, kind of one of the things that we always teach them is critical thinking, and so just critical thinking with everything that they do, because, one decision can lead to a bad decision or a good decision, and so it can also just, it can make or break you as a person, make you a better person, that kind of thing. And so, and then too, I think it's also important for me to be able to also do my part in the community as well. We hear a lot of people complaining about, these young boys and, but at the same time, these same people, they're not doing anything. You know what I mean? So,
and 9 times out of 10, those kind of people who always complain.
Right. You know what I mean? And so, they do all this complaining, but okay, what are you doing to try to help the situation? Mm-hmm. And so I've never been that person to really just talk and complain, you know what I mean? And if I'm complaining about something, I'm finna try to do something what can I do to try to make a difference? Right. You know what I mean? And so I feel like with having more organization, that is me being able to do my part in terms of, helping our young black males.
Yeah.
I think it's dope because, and I'm extremely supportive of it because I wish I would have had something like that when I.
Right, absolutely, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that would have been real good for us.
Yeah.
Especially coming off of that Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And then have that, like when I became a teenager.
Right.
I think it would have been extremely helpful.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably would have prevented some of the bad decisions.
Yeah, and because honestly, I feel like, us growing up, we was really each other our mentors. Yeah. And so we wasn't really a good influence for each other.
Homeboy, is this all right? Will you do this? And he said, yeah, to both those. Or 9 times out of 10.
Right.
For real.
Right.
One of the greatest things I see from what I've been a part of, or what I can see whenever I'm around, is that they have children from all different types of backgrounds. Mm-hmm. You don't have just, your single parent households. You have people from all over, and then all over the coast that are coming. So it's a need for it.
Right.
Definitely, I can see the impact that it makes.
Right. Absolutely.
I know that sometimes I see some boys come in with their head hanging down, like they don't really want to come. But the older they get, the more they see, like the more responsibility they see, more discipline. You can tell they get like more into it. Right.
And and I really love like a lot of the guys that have graduated, in college, and then they come back and want to help out in whatever any kind of way, and then also too. Just when they call me and tell me, just thanking me for some of the things that we were able to instill in them. Like for example, one of my guys, he graduated 2 years ago, and he came home from school, and he went to the gas station, and as he was leaving the gas station, he got pulled over by the police. Mm-hmm. And so when he got pulled over, so the police. As the police pulled him over, then another police pulled up. Before you know it, it was like 7 police cars behind him.
Oh yeah, that's how they handle us.
Yeah, and so then what it all came down to is, once they kind of got to the bottom of it, they thought he was somebody else. So they let him go. He drove off. He got about maybe 100 yards down the road, and then they pulled him over again. This time they made him get out the car.
Gee.
And so he was on the phone with his mom, and police was like, hey, you need to get off the phone. He was like, no, I'm on the phone with my mama. His mom was telling him, no, stay on the phone, that kind of thing. And so, but what it all came down to, they thought he was somebody else. They just kind of mistaked him for someone else. And so he called me, and he was like, man, I want to appreciate, some of the training that y'all gave us, because that's some of the things that we talk about in terms of when you get pulled over. At the end of the day, you need to make sure you get home safe.
Right.
And so we do videos and tutorials and all that kind of stuff on what you need to do when you get pulled over as a black male. Because of course we all know, there's no secret, it's a lot different for us if we get pulled over versus one of our white counterparts that get pulled over. So I'm talking, we got to do everything right. Don't look aggressive at all, keep your hand, And so those kind of things. Right. And so that's what it comes down. So just kind of getting those calls, like, thanking us, for what we was able to instill in them and teach them, that kind of thing, or even when they just come back and want to help out, So that does my heart a lot of justice too. So.
Oh, and I wanted to do the non-profit and say thing. You was who I called too.
Right. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. No doubt.
I know a lot of them. Y'all gave them access to being able to do the college tours.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people don't do that down here.
Right.
So just being able to see like other colleges, even outside of the state of Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's an exciting thing.
Yeah, and that's big for me too, because just being able to take them, not just here in Mississippi, but taking them to other states, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, that may be the only opportunity that they have gotten to be able to leave out of the state, out of Mississippi, and so being able to take them to other colleges and also just kind of see what they have to offer, that kind of thing, because at the end of the day, and even if college is not for them, they can kind of, get an idea, okay, maybe this is something I want to do, because at the end of the day, college, it ain't something that we push on them, because there has to be a choice, because you can go to college and then completely waste your time. And then on the flip side of that, there's a lot of money that you can make not going to college. You can go get a trade, that kind of thing. So it's pointless. Don't go and waste your time. And that's one of the things I teach the guys, if college ain't for you, then don't go, but you need to have a plan. And so at the end of the day, we try to help them make sure that they have a good plan in place to, and then even with going to college, honestly, you really need a plan, because to be honest with you, I really do have a love-hate relationship when it comes to college. I appreciate so I appreciate the knowledge and the education part of it, but at the same time, the issue I have with it, I go to college and rack up all these student loans, and now when I leave college, now I ain't even guaranteed a job, what I'm saying? And that's in my field. If I got a major in marketing, I'm trying to go get a job in marketing, but ain't nobody hiring me. You know what I mean? So I got to work somewhere else, and I ain't making what I supposed, and so, but I still got all these student loans that done stacked up. So that's kind of the hate part I have about it, because college is so expensive. So I think just having a plan in place, that definitely needs to be at the forefront for sure. Just having that plan in place, and if college ain't for you, then have a strong plan in place to, how you gonna make your money. And then on the bigger picture, one of the things, and I teach my sons this all the time, and then also my guys in the group, of being an entrepreneur, like having something like this, like this is dope for me. You know what I mean? You have an idea to be able to do this, and the mindset to be able to do this, you know what I mean? This is gonna go so far. You know what I mean? It's all about the time and the energy and just being consistent in what you do, and you can go wherever you want to go. And so that's important for me, man. I teach you guys, to have that entrepreneur spirit, you know what I mean? Because there's so much money out there to be made. You just got to find what you're passionate about and what you like doing, and put your energy into doing it.
Something to live for.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, yeah, I'm always excited to see what y'all have going on next. So
yeah, no doubt.
And I think you've mentioned this like 8 times in this interview. So let's talk about what you're passionate about, which is banking, which is money.
Yeah,
Black banking.
So I'm a branch manager at Bancorp South, just FYI. So if y'all need a bank, come see me at Bancorp South, 905 Callan Road, Gulfport, Mississippi. So banking is very important. So just finance, just in general, in our community, I feel like as a community, us as black people, I think one of the reasons why we are kind of behind in a lot of things is because of economically we're not. And then a lot of it has to do with just misinformed and not educated on. And so one of the reasons why I got into banking was because to get that knowledge and be able to come back and educate my community on some of the things I learned from banking. That was I'd never even wanted to work in banking. Didn't want to be in it, didn't want to have anything to do with it. And so when I was at Mississippi Power, and so when we was going through the transition and I got laid off from there, and before we closed our doors, I was like, the one place I'm not gonna go work, I ain't trying to go work for no bank. And I was set on that, but
life for sure.
Yeah.
So but they actually came and found me. They recruited me, and so I like and the two things that kind of steered me away from banking was the culture of banking, and then also how heavily regulated that it is. And so those are two things that kind of steered me away. But I sat down with the market president. He took me to have lunch with him, and so those are the two things that he kind of sold me on. And then on top of that, they kind of gave me what I asked for too in terms of money wise. So I was like, okay, right. So I said, this is a good opportunity. I can use this opportunity for my benefit and come back to my community and educate them on certain things, on certain banking aspects, and also on the loan side. So not only am I'm a branch manager, but I'm also a lending officer too. So I do loans as well. And so just being able to educate, a lot of my people on certain loans, and one thing I like about our bank is compared to some of the other banks, our bank, we can get a little bit more creative when it comes to certain type of loans and certain financing. So we have a little bit more wiggle room, with some of these other banks it's very black and white. With us, we can get a little bit more creative. So, but yeah, so just, banking in the black community is so important. And just having that banking relationship in place or established with some bank, because you may bank at bank A and B, but A and B may say no, to something that you may go ask them for, but we may be able to say yes. You know what I mean? Every bank have their different guidelines on certain things, but and some can say yes, some can say no. But just having those banking relationships in place, not just necessarily you ain't got to put all your money all in one bank, you know what I mean? But just kind of spreading it out. That way you have that relationship in place. And so when it comes down to, right, you got your options open, you know what I mean? If they say no, all right, so I'm gonna go over here, you know what I'm saying? We may be able to say yes kind of thing. And so just that education piece of banking, just period, in our community is so important. And so that was one of the whole reasons of me wanting, just decided to go ahead and step out there and take the job. And so now I can come back and educate my guys on certain things, and even with credit when it comes to that, because there's so many things that banks look at when it comes to approving a loan. It ain't always just about the credit, and it ain't always just about how much money you got in the bank. That makes a difference, but even that banking relationship makes a difference. So it's a lot of things that's looked at. Even if you decide to do a business loan, all of that is looked at. How long the business been established, and sometimes that don't even matter. You know what I mean? So it's so many things, but the biggest thing is once you have that relationship in place, then you can sit down and talk with us, and we can educate you on whatever.
I think just like with everything else, representation matters.
Absolutely.
So a lot of times people may feel intimidated to go in there and see somebody that doesn't look like them, so they will be more open to speak to somebody that is knowledgeable on it, that does, that may be able to relate to them.
That is true, because to be honest with you, most of the times any loans I got, whether it was home mortgage, car loan, the first thing I personally, want to do business with somebody that kind of look like me, because I can understand them a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I know in terms of, whether it's, the terminology of how they speak, they they can relate to me a little bit better, and I can relate to them. And so, they're going to tell me what I need to know versus, sometimes we deal with other people a lot of times. They like to use these big fancy words and the bank terminology. I don't understand that. Talk to me help me understand. You know what I mean? And so dealing with our own people, I feel a little bit more comfortable dealing with someone that kind of look like me.
Yeah.
Earlier you said something, and it made me think about something. You said using your job to help the community. I think a lot of people fail to realize that a job is just a stepping stone.
Right.
Even
absolutely.
No matter how long you work there, the job is just to fuel you. To just do other things.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Think a lot of people fail to realize that.
Yeah. I tell my sons and my guys, I tell them all the time, use that job to build something outside of your job where you at. You know what I'm saying? To build your own dream or your own your own job.
Just invest in yourself.
Yeah, invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Use that, learn those skills there. If you can take those same skills and then apply for your own, then do that,
Yeah.
Not just that, but the relationship.
Yeah.
Like with Drina Finds Out, and I think even on this show, most of the people we've spoken with have been people that we've known.
Right, absolutely.
That we've built some type of relationship with. So speaking of using your 9 to 5 to help you get to where you want to be, last year, Bancorp South, you and Bancorp South, and then you used Goals, Gulf Coast Outreach and Leadership. Y'all did a small business type expo. So that was a pretty exciting thing.
So, my whole idea with that was basically more so an education kind of course, for small businesses here within our area, within our communities. And so, so I took my organization, Gulf Coast Outreach and Leadership, and then also who I work for, Bancorp South, as a branch manager, and and merge those two together, basically as a partnership to get into the community and with our small businesses, because at the end of the day, one of the ways that we thrive here on the Gulf Coast is because of small businesses. But I also know too, there's a lot more small businesses that are out there that they don't have a lot of the resources that they need to really do a lot of the things that they really want to do, kind of thing. And then also too, sometimes that comes from lack of knowledge, not knowing, kind of thing. And so that was the purpose of me putting that forum together, was basically
not knowing to go over to get that.
Right, to find, to see, find out where to go get those resources. And then also too, we were going to do a spinoff from that, and then do like one-on-one sessions with small businesses to teach about how to do a business plan, or how to do your business taxes and things like that. And so so it was, and then we also use that opportunity as a toy drive as well, because
I was about to say that we really finessed that.
Yeah, so because we in December is we do our Christmas in the Park for Gulf Coast Outreach and Leadership, and so we implemented a toy drive with that as well. So
we'll be there. Y'all think y'all will be able to have those events this year with the pandemic and all of that?
So that's kind of up in the air right now, man, because that pandemic really kind of pushed us behind on a lot of stuff. Yeah. Like we, for months we didn't actually meet with our guys. We'll meet with our guys via Zoom. A lot of times. So like in person meetings, we didn't really meet with them a lot. We just started back in September actually. So I'll sit down with the guys, with Dougie and Jordan and Jeremiah and Red, and we'll kind of discuss and see from there if we want to do that this year. But kind of the way things, I don't really see us doing it, just for the simple fact, because we're in November right now. We hadn't really did any planning in terms of toy drive or that kind of thing. And then too, with the whole pandemic, because if y'all remember, with the Christmas in the Park, we got a lot of people and everybody close within each other, and so so it won't be a lot of social distancing, that kind of thing. And so I think that's another reason why I think we may not have it this year. Just so this year, it probably, we may have to kind of go without this year and then pick it up on next year.
Anyway, we can help. We there.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
So what are your future plans?
Honestly, I got a lot of things on the radar.
Book.
I got the book on the radar.
You persistently for years would not let me read.
All right, so this is the thing with the book. So I started writing the book probably about 4 years ago. I started writing the book, and and it was about 90% done. But I ended up having to take another direction with it because it was too aggressive. And so I took another approach with it. And so I took some of the pieces out of that book and put it in, what I'm actually finishing up now, which I'm about 80% complete with it right now. And so that'll be done very soon. As a matter of fact, tonight I'll be, head first in that tonight, working on that. And so that's definitely on the radar. That's gonna be done. Definitely 2021 for sure. More than likely, February will be the latest, but I'm pushing for January for it to be on the shelves and everything like that.
I'm still excited after all this time.
And so then I got some other things in the works I can't really speak on. I can kind of give y'all a hint later.
Y'all got those.
But I got something I'm working on, man, and something that I always had a passion to do, but I kind of just put it on the back burner. But is back now.
When you get ready, bring it back.
No doubt.
So you get ready, bring it back.
So I got those I'm working on, and then of course 2021 we got some big things we're gonna do with the organization, with Gulf Coast Outreach and Leadership, and also the League of Distinguished Gentlemen. So we got some things we're working on. It's just all a matter of 2020 kind of pushed a lot of things back, but in 2021
it gave us time.
It gave us time. To really just analyze and kind of reposition a few things, and then also just kind of see the bigger picture on everything that you're trying to do and everything that you plan to do. It gave you a bigger picture. Right.
A breath of fresh air.
Right. Absolutely. And so but 2021 is gonna be a huge year in so many ways. So
you gotta stay active, stay.
Yeah, absolutely. But it all comes down to being consistent. That's what it's about.
I'm excited to be a part of it, whatever it is.
Me too.
Absolutely.
No, I'm ready.
I want to bring up one. This is Sunday Street. We're getting ourselves together, but we always got to talk about some type of foolishness. Being that you with banking today,
it
was a big thing on Facebook. Folks was lined up all up and down Highway 49.
I started to go get it. Y'all know money.
About a free $300. The bank was giving away.
So it sounded fishy because, for one, this was at People's Bank, and so one, People's Bank compared to markets of banking here, you know, they're not even on that level as a Bancorp South or Hancock or Wells Fargo to even be giving out that kind of money, free money just to everybody for one. Then two, People's Bank, they're not even open on Sundays. You know, and then three, you know, just in the banking world, period.
What does people banking have to do with your utility?
Right.
That's what I know.
And then it just said utility bill. It didn't say light bill, power. It just said utility.
Yeah, and then too, you know, with the whole pandemic, you know, all the banks basically took a hit, you know, in the third quarter, you know, second or third quarter, you know, we all took a hit because of the pandemic, you know, so we're, you know, banking is all about taking money in, not really giving money out, you know, and so for a bank like People's Bank, just to give out $300 to everybody.
I saw pictures. The police pull up and tell everybody to go
Police
home.
pulled up. Fake news.
Right. So, but I want to know who put the rumor out there. That's what I want to know.
Comment on this post. Tell us who started the rumor.
Please.
Who's the first person?
Come up with the clever man.
Man, I'm talking about
These people are interrupting people.
Whole Sunday messed up. People just got their power back.
Man, don't leave church.
The thing is, I was here after Katrina, and I don't know the kind of people y'all were hanging around, but I know that ain't nobody coming down here giving us no money.
No.
After the way people got over after Katrina, they ain't giving us nothing.
I know people who went on a southern tour.
Yeah.
And hit every city that
Every
they
red cross.
That is crazy.
Multiple days of the week.
Man.
Y'all gonna be hiding hungry around here.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
They ain't even got no ice for you.
I think they were selling ice for like $2 a bit.
See, they ain't even giving
£20
it. They're not even giving it away.
Now I need that money.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming to talk to us, Abra.
Yeah,
No,
I appreciate
It's been enjoyable.
I definitely appreciate y'all having
You're
me.
a hard man to catch up with.
Yeah, man.
For us to be friends for 20 plus years.
I know, bro. I know, man. I know. Well, you know, the pandemic came and gave me some time, so.
Yeah. That's coming from me, though. That's a compliment, man. If I can catch up with you, you're out here working, being active and busy. So.
No doubt.
Good luck on all your future endeavors. I'm sure we'll be in the loop, some form of fashion.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Most definitely. Appreciate you sliding through the streets, bro.
Thank you, Miss Drina.
No problem.
All right.
Welcome back to Sunday Street, and that was our interview with my player, my partner, my brother, Abra Taylor. I want to thank him for coming through the streets.
It was a great conversation. I enjoyed it.
Me too, I always do. 3 days. We got 3 days to Election Day. Get your ass out there and vote.
Don't leave the line. If they tell you can't vote, they tell you it's not the right place. No, stay there and vote affidavit by affidavit.
Yeah, I can't imagine see what type of tricks they gonna have.
There's gonna be plenty of
Discourage
tricks.
people.
It's a circus, so it's gonna be tricks at the circus.
And no matter what the outcome is, remember we gotta go to work the next day.
Yeah.
So don't let it bother you too much.
Ruckus. It's gonna be ruckus.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what it's gonna be. So next week when we come here, man, we could potentially have a new president getting ready to move in the White House. Trump said he ain't leaving.
I know. They say they're gonna start a civil uprising, so we'll see.
I'm with it.
You gotta purchase our Second Amendment.
It's going down.
Yeah.
It's Sunday Street.
We know how to get by.
Yeah. This is Sunday Street. I'm ready, man.
I'm excited to see what happens.
I ain't excited about voting, but I'm gonna go. I said I wasn't gonna go.
I appreciate you going to vote.
Man,
I hope
just
everyone
go
else as well.
I just be getting so frustrated with the mess, so I have my moments. But I'm gonna go. I can sacrifice an hour to put a vote in.
Well, you want a 44 million strong. You know, so they say. I think it's more black people in the world.
Me too.
I think they lie about statistics, but
That's another subject.
Yeah.
But anyway, once again, we thank our friend Abra for coming through Sunday Street. Anything y'all want to say before we get out of here?
Go vote.
Go vote.
go vote.
See y'all next week.
Book.
We hope.